Okay, welcome to the October 19th Thursday chat. And before we start, we're going to hear from Rabbi Judy Ehrlich. Go ahead, Judy.
Hi, everybody. It's really hard to know what to say at a time like this, but not saying anything isn't helpful either. We are on the 13th day of Israel's war against Hamas. And I know for myself that my heart is broken and that things look very, very dangerous and very worrying. And I know that many of you feel very strongly in the same way as well. I would like us to continue to be as supportive as we have been so far towards each other, and to follow the advice that we got last Friday from Rabbi Sharon Cohen-Annesfeld, which is not to give in to despair. When things look as worrisome as they are right now, there doesn't seem to be any clear solution, and especially since Israel has sadly failed on two fronts, one being its preparedness and now its PR front. The window of opportunity in which Israel has been the recipient of sympathy is rapidly closing, and we see a lot of opposition as well. It's a tough time for Israel, and in many areas a tough time to be Jewish as well because of the threats. I know that there'll be mention made of security during this meeting, but what I am doing for myself to keep going is to focus on the things that are good, the fact that Israel has woken up now and that there is an enormous amount of resilience in the country. People have ingenuity, and we know that they will put it to good use at this point, an incredible amount of volunteerism. I think that holding on to hope is what we need to do, and what we need to do for each other, to support each other, and to speak out if it feels right to you in support of Israel. I, like most of you, am hoping and praying that some miracle will happen and there'll be a good solution. Sometimes miracles do happen. So I want to offer support to people who are struggling. I'm accessible and reachable. Just phone me or text me or email me and I'll respond. And also we already have one program lined up with experts on Israel who will be helping us to make sense of what's going on. There's a program with Larry Lowenthal that will be coming up in the next 2 weeks. And we're also looking at other possibilities of people who have something interesting and worthwhile to say that will help us make sense of it. So let's all hang in. We don't really have a choice. I'm done. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Judy. So we have a wonderful library at Newbridge, and we're fortunate that the town of Dedham has a wonderful library, and we're going to give a few minutes to the library director of the Dedham Library, Amber Maroney, to tell us how we might get even closer together. Go ahead, Amber.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. So I wanted to share some information with you guys and give you guys the opportunity to maybe provide us with some feedback. The library is taking steps to address the physical needs of our building so that we can offer an improved programs, improved services, and collection. And one of the things that we're doing to get feedback from the community, including Newbridge on the Charles, is we're hosting a series of focus groups. So we want to host a focus group that's dedicated just to the residents of Newbridge. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to see if there would be any interest, and also to provide you with my email. So if you are interested in attending a focus group, you can get in contact with me. I can share my email with Justin after the meeting, and if that's okay, and then he can forward it to you. So the focus.
Excuse me, Amber, why don't you just put it in the chat before you leave?
I can certainly do that too. Yep, I can definitely do that. So the focus group, hold on, let me just pull up my notes, specific to Newbridge, will be on Tuesday, November 7th from 11 to 12. We're still ironing out details about whether it will be at the main library or if it'll be at a different location, so that I would be able to follow up with you guys later. But I will provide my email address in the chat. And if you are interested in participating in the focus group, you can just send me an email. I will be in touch once I have a little bit more information. So I don't know if anybody has any questions right off the bat. If you want to ask them, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions?
Yes,
So
I've got a question. Could you repeat the date and time again?
Sure. It will be on Tuesday, November 7th.
Okay, at 11?
At 11 o'clock, yes.
Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure I had it right.
yes, I can't answer. I'm on with 100 people. Okay.
All right, I just put my email in the chat, so everybody should be able to see that.
Anna Marcus.
The Dedham Library is doing about the banning of books and how we can be supportive, besides financially, of course.
Sure. So, the library does have a collection development policy that very much lays out the reasons why we do or do not add material to our collection. We actually, just last week was Banned Book Week, and so we highlighted the fact that censorship is an issue across the country, and we don't participate in that. We have been relatively fortunate that, knock on wood, that we have not had really any book challenges here in my tenure at the Dedham Library, which I've actually been working for the Dedham Library for about 15 years. I've just been in this position for about 3. So we're very fortunate that we haven't been facing that issue, but a lot of libraries across the state and across the country have. Continuing to support the library. If you do use our library, thank you. If you don't, I encourage you to come. And then if you do see, if you do encounter censorship or people commenting about material that we should or should not have in our collection, feel free to send me an email. But I think just pushing back on that is a great thing. But I do know sometimes it's a little difficult to speak up about that, but we here in Dedham have been pretty fortunate, and the Board of Library Trustees, they are very much against censorship. So I feel like we're in a pretty good position in terms of banned books, and hopefully it stays that way. So.
Okay, thanks. Dean Marksbein and then Karen Cohen Showtime.
Maybe I missed it, but can you explain what the focus group is going to be discussing? Thank you.
Sure. So we really want to get feedback from the community on what types of programs and services you would like from the library. And then what we will do is we're working with a consultant to prepare a building program that will be used for a building grant through the state. So our buildings are, the main library is a very old building and it's not accessible. So there's a number of stairs, there's thresholds that are greater than, what they should be. So using our space has become very difficult. So we want to address that. But instead of just going out and addressing them, we want to know what the community wants so that we can focus on the community needs and use that to address specific issues. This may or may not lead to a new building. This may or may not lead to a renovation of one of our existing buildings, We don't have that answer at this point. We really just want to hear from the community about what you want from a library building.
Okay, Karen. Unmute, Karen.
I just wanted to say you should put, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Mention of this in the weekly written notices that go out to everybody.
Okay, thank you. So noted. All right, I guess we've taken, sorry about that. It seems like everybody wants to call me when this starts. All right, we will move on. Thank you, Amber, for coming.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
And we'll call on Jim Harrison. What? Do we see Jim?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm here today on behalf of the Appreciation Fund to remind everyone that the fall fundraising campaign will soon be coming to an end. And several months ago, Bob Mesnick volunteered to create a cartoon to support the fall campaign. Some of you may have seen it at the concierge desk. For those who haven't, I want to share it with you today. And I've asked Faye to put it up on the screen at this point. Thank you. Bob's cartoons often poke fun at our very human foibles. This one is typical. It shows a dentist engaged in a conversation with his patient. He says, "You need a crown," to which she responds, "Finally, someone who really appreciates me." The point here, although the patient has clearly misunderstood what the dentist meant, is that everyone likes to know they're appreciated. As Bob points out, contributions to the Appreciation Fund are really a win-win for everyone because they nurture a healthy work environment, they support staff well-being, and they help to make Newbridge the wonderful place it is to live. So I hope everyone who has not yet made a contribution to the Fall Fund Drive will respond to Bob's gentle nudge and give generously as they can, as soon as they can. Thank you.
Thank you. Betty Shapiro.
Thanks, Jerry. Can you hear me? I'm on a different device.
Yes, we hear you fine.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, so I'm wearing my Hadassah hat now with two brief announcements. First, our Shabbat afternoon study group resumes this Saturday at 2 in the synagogue, and it will begin a new course of study entitled, "And You Think Your Family Has Problems." It's about biblical families and relating to us today. Please join us. For those who have indicated interest in getting materials ahead of time, they will be distributed tomorrow. Second, I want to remind those who are planning to attend the brunch on Sunday, October 29th, that's a week from Sunday, that RSVPs are requested by tomorrow. If you have misplaced your response form, I would be glad to replace it. Just let me know. While this event was originally planned as celebratory, acknowledging Israel's 75th anniversary and Hadassah's role, it is now planned as an opportunity for us to show solidarity with Israel and with each other. Our featured speaker will be Nancy Falchuk, a past national president of Hadassah, who will bring us up to date on Hadassah hospitals and their importance today. And now I'm putting on my volunteer outreach hat with one announcement to tell you that the Potato Latke collection for Hanukkah is now on. We have just learned that Jewish Family and Child Services prefers the low sodium version of the Latke mix, but they will take any type and any brand. So when you're shopping, please add Latke mix to your list, and you can deposit the boxes anytime. The bin is near the entrance to Nosh, and I thank you all.
Christina Foley.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows next week we are bringing back 2 classes that have been on hiatus. So on Monday at 4, we will have our Tai Chi class. That's going to be located in the aerobic studio. And then Thursdays at 10, we will resume our water aerobics class. And always make sure to check the weekly calendar for the most up-to-date information. That's where we'll have any changes to the calendar. So just be sure to look at the weekly calendar for those classes. And second to that, I just wanted to make sure everybody noticed that we have added a gentle yoga class. This is a class that has been offered in assisted living and will continue to be offered in assisted living. However, you are all invited to attend. So Wednesdays at 10:15, we'll have a gentle yoga class. And on Fridays at 10:15, we will have a strengthening and stretch class. Again, located in assisted living, but they will be on the independent living calendar. Now, with that being said, the printed calendars will be coming out to you, I would say either Tuesday or Wednesday, and they will also be updated on Touchdown again sometime next week. So just give me a couple days to get that IT stuff going. Maya, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, Mayor, go ahead.
Yes, when you post it on Touchtown, if a change occurs after the posting, does the Touchtown post get updated?
So these will be for all future posts. So I'm going to be adding the whole fitness calendar that you normally see that looks like this. That's the one that I'm going to be adding on there. The other one, I think that gets changed when the weekly calendar gets changed. So all of the information that is in the weekly calendar will be the same on Touchdown. Nancy Vega, correct me if I'm wrong.
But if something changes in the meantime, which sometimes it happens, do we get
Those changes do not make the weekly calendar, nor do they get updated on Touchdown. What happens is we will send out a voice friend to anyone that's affected. So if you regularly attend the class or you come to the gym, you have appointments, we call you directly to make sure that you know why, when, and how.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it for me. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Nancy Vega.
Hola, folks. Just wanted to do a quick plug-in for Monday, upcoming Monday, Residents Present with Toby Levine. She will be talking about her career and her lifetime of experience. So please join us in Greatman Hall at 2 p.m. We have other programs, but I really, really, really want you to come and join us for this one. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Josh Ferraro and Eileen O'Donoghue.
Thank you, Jerry. Hello, everyone. I just have a couple of brief announcements, and then I'll turn it over to Eileen, who has some additional exciting news. The 2 topics that I want to cover are just the Thanksgiving memo that went out last week will again be in the dining communications this week, along with the actual menus for the Thanksgiving buffets in both Centro and Nosh. And that is for an effort to be able to have the residents make their plans well in advance. That information will be sent out in the printed, but for those of you who opt out of the print for whatever reason, hopefully to be green, it will be loaded on the dining website. It will be under the upcoming events page, the memo, as well as the menus, and then the individual menus will also be available under the Centro and Nosh tabs as well, if you're looking for those menus. So if you're using the dining website, thank you. And on the dining website, you can either go to upcoming events for all the information, or if you're just looking for the menu, it'll also be under the Centro and Nosh tabs of the Thanksgiving menus. And then we do have a brunch coming up in the Winter Garden next Saturday. You can begin making reservations for that brunch tomorrow if you so choose. The menu went out again in the dining communications last week. And that information is also available in the upcoming events tab under the flyer for the brunch. And those are the two notices that I want to communicate, Jerry. And now I will turn it over to Eileen.
Eileen.
All right. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Just a few things. So I just want to update you on the rollout of the new menu. So during the week, the dining committee came in and we did like a little mini food tasting for them, and we had comment cards, and they gave us what information we needed to get. So rolling on, what our next steps are is that this day next week on the 26th, myself and Patrick will be talking to you guys on the new menu. So we will be posting it, and we'll be showing you what's on the new options. It will also the following day be in Matt's newsletter. The following day on the 27th, it's also going to be in your mailboxes, and it'll be also under the events in the website for you guys to look for. Now, the menu is not actually rolling out until November 6th, which is a Monday. But we want to kind of get you guys ahead and have a look at the menus and be comfortable with the menus. And also we will be having frequently asked questions. But if you still have questions after that, obviously you're welcome to ask them. So that's kind of the rollout for the new menu coming out in Central. Also, I've kind of got pretty exciting news. As you all know, I got promoted there about 2 weeks ago to Assistant Director of Food and Beverage. And we now have a replacement for my position, the Executive Chef, and that would be Patrick Gaio. So he is, he has been here since about 2014. He started here as a young lad per diem, and he grew up in the ranks, literally in all the ranks, between first cook, lead cook, junior sous chef. He's in Nosh, he was in AL, he was in Centro, and you know, he's worked hard for this, and I really like you to congratulate him when you see him. But he is now going to be our new executive chef for IL and AL at Newbridge on the Charles. So when you see him, congratulate him for him, because he deserves it. That's all I really have. Thank you.
We have a question, Eileen, from Stan Treitman. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering on the reservation systems of Touchtown. When we see errors, who do we contact? I've been able to figure out who's in charge of Touchtown and what do we do. For example, reserving on Tuesdays and Thursdays is very strange sometimes because there's no reservation available in Central before 6 o'clock. And I registered very, very early. So who do we contact?
Who's going to
Yeah, I can jump in on this one, Stan. If you're having a specific issue with the reservation, it's sometimes difficult to determine whether or not it's a Touchtown or if it's a reservation issue. So if I'm hearing you correctly, the very first thing you want to do if you feel there's something off is to call the restaurant and see if there actually are spots available that aren't available online. But if they're telling you that they are available, then there is certainly an issue. So that would be your first call. And then if you use either the contact us or, you know, reach out to Eileen or myself directly, the problem that you're encountering, we can make sure that the right people can look at it and address it. Myself and the dining team don't own the Touchtown, but we own the parts of the dining communication that are within it. So if it's a reservation issue, a menu issue, an update issue, I have had residents reach out and identify that sometimes things don't get updated in the Touchtown that are updated in the dining website. And that's been very helpful because we have been able to determine the issues. So again, if you're having a reservation problem online, I always recommend call the host Dan at Central right away to see if you can get in. And then if you do find there's an issue, you can either use the contact us option on the dining website or reach out to Eileen, myself, any member of the leadership team of the dining team, and we will do our best to get you in the right direction, Stan.
Thank you, Josh. The only thing I can say is I have done what you've said. I've called Centro and I've been told a lot of people are complaining about that. So I don't know whether you hear it or not.
Specific to those 2 days, I will look into it, Stan, and see if the team's getting that feedback. It hasn't reached me yet. This is the first I'm hearing that a specific day has a problem, and I will certainly follow up.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we're ready to move on to you, Matt.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm just really proud. Whenever you have a team that is being promoted through the ranks because of their hard work and their dedication and their commitment, it's the best thing in the world. When you hire from outside, you get to meet somebody, you interview them, you might interview them 4 or 5 times, but you never know what you have. And when you have a team internal that loves what they do and they put their heart and their soul into it and they grow and they eagerly learn and they're curious and empathetic, such as Patrick and Eileen, it's really just a huge success story. So Eileen, thank you for mentoring Pat through all these years. It's really quite incredible to see him grow into the professional that he has become. And congratulations to you. It's really neat. And now a bit of an admission. I would love to try Tai Chi. I've always been curious about it. And so for those of you that have never tried it, think of me when you do, because it sounds like a really neat opportunity. And Christina, thanks for bringing us Tai Chi. That's pretty cool. Just a couple general reminders for the community at large here. One-stop shop is incredibly important for putting in information when things need to be fixed or cleaned. I've had a lot of residents calling me directly, going to different people around the community, and it's really hard because we end up doing the same thing that you would do, which is call one-stop shop. Now, everybody thinks that if Matt calls, it's going to get done faster, which may be true depending on if everybody's happy with me on that given day. Or it could go the other way, depending on how much work I put on everybody's plates on that given day. So please stick to the system. It allows us to track the work orders when they go in, how long it takes to do the work, if there's any follow-up required, if we have to order parts. And as a reminder, you can do that a few different ways. One is through the Touchtown app that Stan was referencing earlier. There's a button on there to put in a work order. And if you go to frequently contacted phone numbers, there's also the phone number for one-stop shop in there. But if you're like me and you just like picking up a phone once in a while, it's extension 49500. So please, please, please. And I feel bad because some folks call and they make the request to have a work order done with me. And there are days when I'm in every single meeting and not back to my office, and I'll send you an email saying I got it, but calling it back sometimes isn't the easiest thing. So that system exists to be the most efficient for you. I'm very excited about the new menus. I bet you're all ready for some new menus. So we're looking forward to getting feedback on those. Next week will be Patrick's first time on the big screen here. So I'm looking forward to watching him shine on that. And, you know, it's going to be the beginning of many times that you'll see him on there. So we've got some new faces joining us. So that's really, really exciting. On Wednesday, hopefully none of you noticed, but we had a phone system upgrade. We put a voicemail out there to the community as a whole, just so there were no surprises. The phone system that we have here is original, and it's very digital and software based, and the company that supported it is no longer supporting it. So our IT partners let us know that they were replacing some components and switching carriers and all this other kind of stuff. For me, it was pretty seamless. I hope it was seamless for all of you. I'm not sure if that's the end of it. And if there's more to it, I'll let you know. But I just wanted to be transparent that that one is floating out there, but it may be complete. Before I keep going, I see Mayor has his hand up.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Yeah, with the work order for one-stop shop, not every thing you want to report relates to your apartment. It might be helpful if there was a place there to check, you know, is it relative to your unit or is it elsewhere on the campus? Because, you know, if your description of the problem isn't clear, doesn't help the people at the other end.
Mayor, is this in the drop-down box? Or that
Well,
you're talking, are you
I'm
talking about
talking-
specifically in touchdown?
I'm talking about in where you go online and you say a work order, it says open the work order field thing, and then there's a bunch of things to fill out.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Paul
Very-
Trevich,
Thank you. Helpful.
unmute Paul. Paul, we don't hear you.
I have some difficulty today with Tuftown Shop, in that, for some reason I lost my link to the regular Zoom call. So I went to Touchtown Shop and I slid it over to the Zoom, the residence chat, and I punched on it and nothing happened. It didn't connect at all. I couldn't understand why didn't happen.
Because fortunately, I've been asking for it for a long time, but it seems like they're unable to get Touchstone to activate something like that. It seems like it's activated in other areas. If you want to call somebody, you just click on the number. But so far, it's sort of useless. You have to copy off the link and then put it in, in your search engine, and it's unfortunate. We're going to.
I'll have a conversation with Dave, and I know we've talked about this, but this gives me a little more detail.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Thank
Mayor,
you.
Are you still with a question? No, you're all set. Okay, Matt.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about security, if the community doesn't mind. I know it's a topic that's on all of our minds, particularly as the rhetoric has been ramping up around the world. And being a Jewish community, it's something that's got to be on everybody's mind. And with that, it's on the minds of everybody that works here at HSL as well. And we've had a lot of internal meetings, not only here at Newbridge, but with HSL as a whole, with our local police, and we've extended far beyond that range in terms of gathering intelligence so we can be prepared. And, the worst thing that could happen would be us not being prepared. And as challenging as this conversation is to talk about, it takes every single one of us to be alert and pay attention and speak up if something doesn't feel right. The other day, it was 4:30 in the afternoon, and I was heading out and I saw two gentlemen in a pickup truck carrying boxes off the back of a pickup truck into the building, and this wasn't through the main entryway. And the moment I saw it, something didn't feel right. So I reached out to Victor, and Victor's team quickly went to these individuals and identified who they were, and they were supposed to be here and they had permission to be here. But I said to Victor, I said, Vic, I'm sorry for bothering you. I said, this just seemed very odd to me. And the first thing he said to me is what I want to say to all of you, which is, no, 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 thank you. You 100% did the right thing. And that could never be more true than right now. So our security team sent out a notice to all of you this week, and they did an exceptional job putting it together, outlining and detailing the depths that we're taking to make sure to keep the community safe. But they made some very specific requests to all of you. And so I just want to take a moment and go through some of those because they're critically important. The first one is we've been in touch with the Boston Regional Intelligence Center, which is a very helpful entity that helps us get ahead of any risks that exist, particularly in the area. The Massachusetts State Police Fusion Center, Department of Homeland Security, the FBI here in Boston, Dedham Police, and CJP, which is our main Jewish organization that helps us on threat-related issues. And so we have a lot of networks of information coming in and a lot of support. But the number one thing that comes up in all of these conversations with these entities is the concept of see something, say something. If you see suspicious activity and it's emergent and you're witnessing a crime or something dangerous, call 911 right away. And that's a little different than how we've done it in the past. In the past, we've said call security. In instances like this, call 911 first and call security after. Let's get the emergency response here, and then we'll get security. If it's a medical emergency or something like that, continue to do as we have always done. Contact security. Keep the buildings and apartments secure. If you don't know somebody, please don't let them in the building. They will find a way in by going through the front desk and signing in and going through the proper channels, but please don't let them in the building. When it comes to our badges and our key fobs, don't lend them out to anybody. Now, I know sometimes things seem innocuous and it's simple. I gave it to my son, I gave it to my daughter, but what that does is it causes a challenge for us to identify who is where. We have, and some of you may have seen it, a control center here with hundreds of cameras that is monitored all the time on this campus. And so there's somebody that literally just sits there and watches all this activity to make sure that nothing suspicious is happening. When we know who's in the building, it makes it a lot easier. But if you give your fob to somebody and they haven't signed in through the proper channel, that raises suspicion. And in our current climate, it's going to raise a lot more suspicion than it has in the past. So please don't share your badges with others. That's incredibly important. And lastly, it's going to take us as a community. You know, right now, there are no credible threats against our community or in this environment of this area, which I'm very grateful for. But the thing I worry about the most as the executive director here is if that day ever does find its way here. Even if it's just a phone call, it doesn't matter. We have to be prepared, and there's no excuse for us not to be prepared. So with that, I just want to give you all not only some strong messaging, but also the confidence to know that primarily this is where I've been focusing most of the effort of my job lately, as well as HSL. So
We got three questions. We'll start with Barbara Nadich.
Actually, I have a couple of things. First of all, kudos to the letter that was sent out so quickly by your security team the other day, because it went a long way to making us feel secure. And of course, part of us is also part of Rashi. And again, I thank you, Matt, for your leadership, and Vic for your phenomenal security team. Back on something called food. Is Eileen still on the phone? Yeah.
No.
Anybody?
Yep, he's back.
Sorry, guys, I'm here.
Hi. Since Patrick is no longer going to be part of Centro in his main job, who's going to be taking over as the primary chef?
So right now, Patrick is staying in Central. It's hard to get him out of there, truth be told. We have put in an offer to another sous chef. So hopefully we will have somebody on board. Patrick will be at Central, and also he'll be helping out with the Nosh as well. So he'll still be in Central, and you'll still be seeing him.
So I can still harass him.
Oh, yeah.
You can. I mean, we're still going to be, I'm still going, you're going to see me in the chef's jacket every now and again as well. I won't lie. I can't, cat doesn't change their colors that quick. So don't be shocked when you'll see me in the chef's jacket as well, because that's when I can kind of do my own thing as well. So we're all in it together. It's just making sure that the shifts are covered, that we're training everybody the way we want to train it. So we'll be good that way.
Okay, the other thing I'd kind of like to bring up, there have been enough evenings where certain foods have run out. And to me, as a not being on the inside of the things, it seems to me that on nights that a particular food is really going to be popular, that you would be able to order accordingly. The other side is very often desserts run out. And this may be primarily in Nosh and in Copper Beach. I know the problem in Copper Beach because certain individuals like to take more than their fair share. But, you know, there seems to me to have to be, adjustments have to be made, or am I incorrect in that?
So for Nosh, one of the things we struggle with in Nosh is just really, I mean, there is a reservation system, but it's not as good as a reservation system in Central. So therefore, we might expect, you know, 30 people and we'll end up with 50 people. That happened last Sunday. We actually got a lot more people than we expected, so we were hustling. Another thing what I've the lads have taught me on with Nosh is that you know, it's a buffet, so somebody goes up to the table and, you know, however many people are on the table, they'll get the desserts. They might get a few more for the table. I do the same, and they bring it down to the table and not everyone will eat it. So Carlos goes to me, says, you had enough, but people took more than they probably should have. And then we kind of ran out. So we're kind of looking at that process as well. I've asked to make more, but again, it's a guessing game of how much more we make as well. But I am looking at the Nosh for figuring it out, desserts. And as for Copper Beach, I think we're getting a little better because we are keeping an eye on replenishing the food and stuff like that for Copper Beach. But if we're not, just let me know and we'll look into that as well.
Well, one of the areas in Nosh seems to be fruit.
Fruit, okay. Well, I know we ran out Sunday night because we had a lot of people on Sunday night that we didn't anticipate. So obviously we talked to the crew on Monday or whatever, just to make sure that we always have a backup. But if it's happening more after that, just let me know and I'll investigate again.
Thank you.
We're going to move on. Judith Weinberg.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. And this is a question about security. There are 3 doors at the back of Nosh, the area where that is right near the swimming pool and the pool table. Those are unlocked. I use them all the time when I walk down from the cottages to go to the gym in the morning. And it started to bother me that those are unlocked from the outside. I never need to use my key. And I'm wondering if Victor or Matt are aware of this, because I imagine they should be.
Thank you. So number 1, that's under surveillance, which is good. So we'll know if somebody's there. Number 2, don't be surprised if it's locked within the next 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Toby?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just
So I
so
wanna make-
everybody knows, that door, if you walk, you can still enter that door. You just need to use your badge on the left side. So when it is locked, use your badge.
Okay, thank you. Toby, go ahead.
So I want to mention 2 things. I live on the first floor of the 3000 building, and I had 2 experiences in the last 2 days. Yesterday, I had an Instacart order that just appeared at my door. I don't know how the fellow got into the building. I do have some concerns about that. Today, we had somebody moving in, so the doors were open all day. I mean, anybody could have walked in. You know, they come in with the furniture, they go into the apartment. In the meantime, the doors are left open.
Thanks, Toby. So Instacart would have likely come through the front desk, signed in there. We would have monitored them through the camera system, and the same for the movers. Once that door is open, that door will basically be on the camera at the control center, and they should be watching that.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anna?
I just wondered if Victor would give a few more workshops as he did the last time we had a security crisis on how to defend ourselves, etc.
I will ask Victor. Poor Victor, every time he takes time off, something like this happens. So Victor is off, but not really. So when I talk to him, which will probably be tonight, because we usually touch base. I will make that request to him, Anna. Nice
Thank
idea.
you, Matt.
Okay, I guess we've gone through the questions, Matt.
Excellent. Well, I don't see any better way to end it than just to say thank you to this entire community. It's the year and a couple months that I've been in this role, it feels like we've been through an awful lot together. And it frankly doesn't seem like it's going to stop. But at least I know that we're in this thing together, and that makes it all bearable. And I think in the end, I think we'll all be better for it. So thanks for working with me and sticking together and speaking up. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.